Christmas tree hacks. Hello, my little holly jollies. Welcome back to the merriest place on the internet. Christmas trees are my favorite thing in the world. Hi. Christmas tree hacks that are going to help your trees stand out and save you some of that precious time and energy. 10 hacks to be exact. Let's start with setup. Hack number 1 is to put your Christmas tree in a corner. This is a great lazy girl Christmas decorating hack. Putting your tree in a corner means you only have to decorate 1/3 of the tree because the other 2/3 are in the corner. This also is really good for space saving if you don't have a ton of space. Get that tree in a corner. Then you don't need as many decorations, it's not gonna take up as much floor space, and it's just gonna be up quicker and nicer. You can use fewer lights because you don't even have to light the back. I still like to light the back because it bounces off the wall, which is magical. But you can do it your way. Fewer lights, fewer ornaments, put it in a corner, only decorate 1/3 of your tree. Hack number 2 is to set up your tree on something else. Paint cans, big tins, Amazon boxes stuffed with something heavy. It'll raise your tree up a little bit, give you a little bit of height on your tree, more space underneath if you have lots of presents or really big presents, or if you just want a sort of grander kind of feeling. Last year, I actually put one of my trees on top of an end table next to my couch. It was really up there. I basically took a 6-foot tree and turned it into a 10-foot tree. Actually, maybe only 9 feet. I don't know how tall my ceilings actually are. Is that something a homeowner should know? It's fine. Once you get it stacked on top of something, put a tree skirt over it, and make sure you remember to stuff your tree skirt with either fake snow, pillow fluff stuff, or wadded up tissue paper, wadded up old wrapping paper, something that's gonna create that illusion of the Christmas tree skirt so that it's not saggy where the extra base is on your tree. So put your tree on something a little extra, whatever you got laying around, buy something specific, whichever path you want to take, and then put that Christmas tree skirt on it with some fluff underneath it so that the illusion is there, and you got a little bit of a bigger, better, fancier, standy outier tree. Hack number 3 is to wear gloves when you're floofing. So you know how when you're setting up an artificial tree, you have to sit there and floof out all the individual branches? You do know you have to do that, right? I kind of used to have this problem where it was it wasn't really Christmas unless Kim's bleeding from the Christmas tree. True story. But now I wear gardening gloves when I floof my Christmas tree, and it saves my hands from getting all scratchy because these things are pokey. Yeah, it's a fake tree, but it's pokey. It can't be soft because the effect won't be right, and your stuff won't stay in it, and it's just gonna blow in the breeze of your furnace fan if you're like my Florida friends. It's stiff and pokey, it's a tree. Put on some gloves, keep your hands pretty, and you're not getting it all scratched up and scabby and gross. Let's talk lights. Light your tree as you go. Fun fact, none of my trees are pre-lit. For now, I just buy strands of LED lights and I string my own trees because I am a control freak. Lighting your tree as you go is especially helpful if you have one of the older artificial trees where you put in each kind of bough at a time, row by row by row. Now most of the artificial trees come in 3 or 4, however many sections, bottom and the middle and the top, duh. And those you can still light as you go, but if you've got the individual ones and you go row by row, light as you do each row, weaving the lights in and out this way. If you have a tree that's in sections, then it might be a little easier to weave them zigzaggy vertically instead of roundabout swirly up. Totally up to you and your preference, but make sure you are lighting your tree as you're setting it up instead of setting up the whole thing, floofing everything great, and then putting on your lights. It's gonna take you a little longer, you gotta shove a little more, it's not quite as delightful as an experience as when you're setting up the lights as you go. And then when you're done setting up the tree, it's lit and done. You're not woo, tree set up, oh man, lights. Save yourself the heartache. Hack number 5, a very good rule of thumb is to have 100 lights per 1 to 1.5 foot of tree. So if you have a 6-foot tree, you're gonna want 100 lights per 1 to 1.5 foot of that. More if you want more, less if you want less. Some people just like it a little more spread out with the lights. Some people like it way in your face lighter and brighter, so you're gonna wanna do more. But the best place to start is 100 lights per 1 to 1.5 foot of tree. Then go from there. Personalize that as you go. Number 6 is to use 2 different kinds of lights in your tree. This one is a personal favorite little Christmas tree hack of mine. My favorite way to do this is to use normal, just regular white / clear LED lights all the way up, and then put in something that is either a bigger bulb, so the more vintagey looking bulbs that are bigger, crystallizing, you know which ones I'm talking about. Do 1 or 2 strands of that just kind of intermittently in the tree. Use fewer of the second kind of lights. Don't relight the whole tree twice. It just gives it more dimension and spices your tree up in a very, very easy way, and it just kind of gives it that extra sparkle. Another way to do this is to add a second strand of twinkly lights. So these lights back here are twinkling. All of them are twinkling because, oh my gosh, twinkles. But a really fun way to do this is to add these twinkle lights on a separate strand so that just some of the lights are twinkling and the rest are steady on. So classy. Pure elegance. We're set up, we have lights, it's time for the ornaments and stuff. Tip number 7 is to swap the string on your ornaments for floral wire. Not enough people are talking about how dumb those giant, long, terrible strings are that come on your Christmas ornaments. I don't always take off those strings, but to make your tree decorating experience a little easier and to really make sure that you get everything exactly how and where you want it, swap out those strings for floral wire. Really any wire. I prefer floral wire just because like it works great in the scenario. That's kind of what it's built for, because like the green matches the tree, so yay. The strings are so long, it pulls down on the branch, you hang the ornament and it's like and everything is sad because you got floppy tree, and ain't nobody like floppy tree. With the wire, you can make sure that you get your ornaments exactly where you want them, exactly how you want them. Everything looks great because it is totally in your control. You can get things further in the tree, you can get things hanging where you want them, you can attach them really close to the branch. You can also do this with ribbon, secure things into your tree that aren't necessarily ornaments but you've turned into ornaments. It's a lifesaver. It's definitely a great way to make sure you have a little more control over how your ornaments are going to hang on the tree. So swap out strings and hooks on ornaments for floral wire. Tip number 8 is to use pipe cleaners for bigger tree items. Just like earlier, if you've got something bigger that has a string and you kind of want to tuck it in the tree, or if you're tucking in ribbon, use green pipe cleaners to secure those. Sometimes the wire just doesn't work quite as well, or you got to cut a big long thing of wire, which you kind of is a little more difficult to handle and maneuver with. The pipe cleaners are a little softer on your fingers, so they're a little easier to use for that big stuff. And they just really secure things in there. They're gonna cover a little more ground on securing things, obviously, because it's like a pipe cleaner, not a wire. Pipe cleaners are also a super great way to better secure your tree topper. If you've got like, oh no, a tree topper, secure that with a pipe cleaner. A couple pipe cleaners along the base, really get them in there so that you don't really see them in the tree. That tree topper isn't going anywhere. This is sad. Don't have like sad topper. Tip number 9 also involves your tree topper. If it's doing this thing that we don't like, take the top branches on your tree and kind of fold them down and crunch them and get a couple of them around each other to form a stronger base for your tree topper. Firm foundation, topper. Works great, it's gonna help with this issue. And if you've still got a little bit of this going on, use those pipe cleaners from tip number 8. Tip number 10, take your clear, see-through, crystal-like ornaments and your mirrored reflective ornaments and place them strategically next to a light bulb. So when you're decorating your tree and you're placing your ornaments on there and you've got these ornaments that are kind of see-through crystally, or they're like clear Christmas bubbles, ones that look like bubbles. Oh my gosh, I love those so much. Mirrored Christmas bubbles are another way to really do this. These kinds of ornaments bounce the light and play with it really spectacularly. So if you strategically place them near an actual like bulb of light, not just where there's lights, because there's lights on the whole tree, but if you put them right near an actual bulb, it's gonna bounce even more. The crystal ones, if you put right in front of a bulb, it's gonna shine through it. Totally beautiful, so lovely. Definitely adds that magic to a tree because it's playing with the light and it's sparkling just right. Oh my gosh. I really love crystally ornaments for this very reason, because when you get them right next to the light, it's like, oh my gosh. So get those reflective ornaments and those see-through ornaments right near the light. It's really gonna help bounce the light even more. Those are my Christmas tree decorating hacks. And now your tree will be extra pretty. Ooh, pretty trees. If you're interested in how I decorated this tree, you can click or tap right there. And for more Christmas magic, you can click or tap right there. I'm off to spread more Christmas cheer, so until we meet again, sparkle on. Share some hacks that I've learned over the years hacking at Christmas trees. It sounded better in my head. These are just things that are gonna help you, like you know what a hack is.